Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Good morning. Welcome to today's Shotsuki Monthly Memorial Service. My name is Dwight Meitzenheimer, and I will be the chairperson today. Reverend Fujimoto will read the names of those who have passed away in the month of March. Those observing the monthly memorial for loved ones, please come forward and offer incense.
Good morning. Okay. It's always nice to see our gathering when we have our Shotsuki services and families encourage each other to come together and honor people we have lost in our families. So it's always a very special service. Please come up and offer incense when your family names are read. Akinaga Teruo, Arai infant, Baba Haruye, Baba Helen, Date Chio, Dylan Toshie, Dor Jean, Eves Ruby, Fujita Gonshiro, Fukayama George, Fukuma Yone, Furuno Shigeru, Hashimoto Noriaki, Higake Kitoko, Higashi Otomatsu, Hirakawa Saburo, Hirao Hichibei, Hitomi Tomoe, Hiyama Eikichi, Ishida Sachiko, Ishikawa Santaro, Iwahashi Noboru, Iwahashi Setsuko, Iwahashi Shizuko, Kaito Seijiro, Kakimoto Misao, Kakimoto Ochio, Kamiji Yuzuru, Kawabata Setsuko, Kawabata Toshiro, Kawakami Chiono, Kitajima Ruriko, Koga Saburo, Konishi Mitsue, Konishi Toshio, Kono Tom, Kuge Teru, Kusama Asao, Kuano Asono, Kuano Denzaburo, Kuano Ken, Maeda Rutaro, Masuda Muneto, Matsui Kojiro, Matsuo Hisao, Matsuura Sachi, Mori Takeo, Mune Mitsue, Murakoshi Shizuo, Nagahisa Hideno, Naito Teruko, Nakagawara Hisakazu, Nakamura Mitsuko, Nakano Etsuko, Nakano Kenji, Nakano Masami, Narahara Etsuko Jin, Chon, Nizawa Yoshi, Nishi Sadako, Nishi Sadasuke, Nishi Teisuke, Nishiyama Takino, Nomura George Masaki, Nomura Seki, Okami Jinzaburo, Okamoto Bunjiro, Okamoto Toshio, Otsu Yoshino, Sadamune Kata, Sakaguchi Chioe, Shigemoto Joan, Shiota Shuzo, Soga Sawa, Soehiro Hidemi Jenny, Tabuchi Kaneko, Tajima Hikoichi, Takagi Kumagoro, Takayama Hiroshi, Tateyama Kinzo, Terao Hisashi, Tesh Matilda, Tsuboi Masaji, Tsuchiya Tadashi, Uchiyama Aisuke, Utsurogi Mamoru Bob, Wada Jun, Wada Yoshie, Yamagami Kiku, Kichiuemon, Yamagata Kei, Yamagata Mei, Yamamoto Hatsuno, Yamashita Matsuzo, Yamashita Takeshi, Yamashita Toshiko, Yamamoto Tetsuo, Yanagi Tomi, Yano Tokyo. These are the Shotsuki names for the month of March. If there are additions, corrections, please notify the office. For our sutra chanting, while I'm here at the microphone, I wanted to explain a little bit. We decided to, instead of, usually we chant the Sambujo. Today we're going to chant the Shi Shin Rai. Okay? So before service, I asked Howard, do we chant the Shi Shin Rai very often? He said, no. So this will be a good thing for us to explore one of our other chants. It's also a short introductory chant. It's on page 2829. So the Shi Shin Rai, and let me explain a little bit more. Okay. Then, yeah. So 2829, and I do the first line, kind of like the Sambujo. I'll do the first line. Melody is different. Shi, shi, ke, i, re, i. Then everyone comes in. Namo Shotsuki Fu. Okay, so when you do the third syllable, sho, sho, oh, so when it drops, you cut it, right? It's not show, finish. Oh, show, ooh. Okay, so completely different. That's why the line doesn't continue when they draw it out. Okay, and then at the very end of your line, the last syllable is fu, right? Fu, and then there's a loop. So on the second line, ho and a loop, so and a loop. So fu is pronunciation of Buddha, right? And ho is ho dharma, and so is for sangha. So this is the three treasures in chanted form. Okay. He's a fan of the Sambujo. Can't please everyone. Right? So, But it'll be fun to try this and just do this, but also, be aware that the end of your chant is Fu Ho So Buddha Dharma Sangha. Okay, so let's give this a try. So let me complete Dwight's line after the chanting of the Shi Shin Rai. We'll have the reading of the Hyo Byaku Mon. So then you can come back up and introduce the next part. Namanda, 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 namanda. Today, on this occasion of the Shotsuki Service for the month of March, members of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. Namu Butsu, Namu Ho, Namu So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namu Amida Buts. Namu Amida Buts. Namu Amida Buts. Namanda, namanda, namanda.
Now we will have sutra chanting Amida Kyo on page 103. Amida Kyo, Yosega no Nichiji Butsuzai Shae, Kokugi Jukiko Tokuon, Yodai Biku Shusen ni
十人空海税大らかん修書知識長老者利法マカモ剣伝マカカ小マカカ宣伝マカクチラリハタシュリハンダガナンダアナンダラゴラキョモンハダイミンズルハラダカルダイマカコヒンナハクラマヌルダヨゼト初代弟子行書菩薩マカサモンジュシリホジアイタボサケンダカダイボサ上昇人ボサヨニョセト将来ボサ旧釈大他人と無料商店大祝二次仏語長老者利法十世裁法果十万六仏道世界上万極楽合同無仏語阿弥陀根源在説法者利法義道学校行為極楽語国衆上無宿三十奨楽光明極楽無者利法極楽国土七十何十七十羅網七十五十改正司法宗祖飲料帝国非国明和極楽無者利法極楽国土無執行知悪毒水十万五十自在順に本社無事自変街道本言ルリハリゴジョ上部老各逆位本言ルリハリシャコ作種名の二言実施自主連芸大業者理常識証拠大式陽子作式釈光学式逆光微妙高血者理法極楽国土長寿行政空毒将軍儒者理法義部国土調査見学黄金二次空夜六時にマンダラ敬語国主上上位小単国位英国宗名系空行他法十万の仏即位一時伝統本国本時行行者利法極楽国土長寿行税空毒将軍武士者利法義国長数十奇妙雑式市長逆国空着大武者利下領民が不明市長税所州長長や六時水和家本法本延長合根合力七母大文八正道文道聖道法合同修正門世音二回出年仏年法年祖者利法尿物因市長実 全体保障所当医者が一部国土無産幕主チリ報道部国土商務産幕都市業学業実ネーション中長改善阿弥陀仏力量温泉流変化小佐シャリホリ部国土利不水道小保護住流法ナモ水味妙音異尿百千十各常時空差門税恩赦開示年上念仏年法年相死心シャリホ公務国土長寿尿税空毒将軍ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ管理しくどく平等性一切四の大心法のナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマン
Please stand for the Gatha Namu Amida Buts on page 96 of the White Book and remain standing for the reading of the meditation reading number 7 on page 17.
When
switch to the purple book. Page 18, meditation reading number 7, The Way of the Bodhisattva. Everyone together, please. May I be a medicine for the sick and weary, nursing them until their afflictions are gone forever. I would be a protector for the helpless, a guide for travelers and their means for crossing a stream, a lamp for those who need a lamp, a bed for those who need a bed, a slave for those who need a slave. May all find happiness through, and no one suffer because of me. Whether they love or hate me, may those feelings be the source of their fulfillment. Those who mock, accuse, or wrong me, may they all attain enlightenment. Namu Amida Buts. Namu Amida Buts. Namu Amida Buts. Namanda, Namanda. Thank you. Please be seated.
Now Reverend Fujimoto will give a Dharma talk.
Okay, good morning again. Ohayo gozaimasu. Today I wanted to look back at our National Council meetings again. A couple of things to bring up about that. Just last week we talked about the National Council meetings in Renton, Washington. That was 2 weeks ago. And a lot of things happened there. So there's some additional things that I did want to bring up. And then we'll look ahead as well to some of our 110th anniversary happenings. So when we come, today in particular, we come to the Shotsuki service and to see all our Shotsuki families come and encouraging family members to join them to come to this service. And I think when we do so, we connect the dots for ourselves, seeing our connections to the people we love and live with now and to the people that we have lost from our families. So as we look back upon their lives, to reflect upon them, it's more than I remember grandma, grandpa, mom or dad or something, more than thinking about that they are gone. But when we do think about them, we complete the picture. We complete our picture because they are still a part of us. They are always a part of us, okay? And as we come to this service, it's like we secure our own foundation. A part of me is remembered as we recognize those that we lose. And from that foundation, we're able to move ahead. So as we do this, we come to these services, we come to remember those that were essential in our lives. Then we come to recognize the temple comes to mean something very special. We become whole again when we come to the Shotsuki service in particular. We re-whole ourselves. So we are more complete coming here to the Shotsuki to remember people that were there. And in a different way, they are still there. Okay. And one of my favorite stories that might kind of reflect upon this in a way, there's a story from Japan, a temple in Japan, and two wives, good friends and neighbors, they were looking forward to a temple service that's going to come up in the near future. So they're visiting with each other and talking about it, and they're enthused that they're going to, in a week, they're going to be able to go to this special service, guest minister coming, and they're remembering what he talked about the last time. He tells such nice stories and remembering him, and so we could pack a lunch and we'll have something between the morning and the evening sessions, and planning to spend the whole day at the temple. So getting into it, encouraging, laughing, smiling, preparations. So they're doing all these things, and then the husband came back from work, a little bit tired, a little bit grumpy, you know, and his wife starts telling him that we're talking about these things, and at the temple, so and so sensei is going to come again, and we're making our plans to go and see him. So the husband is not as enthused as his wife and her friend are. So he's kind of in a grumper mood. Why do you keep going to the temple? The senseis talk about the same thing again and again. Don't you get tired of it? Why don't you do something else? Stop wasting your time over there. So the wife got quiet, right? Feeling bad about getting reprimanded by her husband, stopping all the enthusiasm and the good feelings that she had just shared with her friend, right? So they had been looking forward to this special time at the temple, and now her husband's in this kind of mood. So finally she sits down at the dinner table with him, and she says, every day you come home from work and have your sake with dinner day after day. It's the same sake. Don't you get tired of it? Why don't you quit drinking? So the husband says, stop meddling. I drink my sake because it helps me relax. I can think about the day. The food tastes better. I can rest my body and mind and be ready for another day tomorrow. I get energy from the sake and the meal, and I feel better. So she goes, I feel the same way about going to the temple and listening to the sensei. When I hear the Dharma, it helps me relax, and I can think about the day. The food tastes better. I can rest. The Dharma stories give me energy, and I can be ready for my next day. So, kind of using his own example, she tells him like this. So the husband was softly and gently put in his place, and the women were able to go the next day and enjoy their time at the temple service. So I kind of hope that our feelings about the temple grow like this too, that we recognize that, you know, there's a benefit and a grounding and a growth when we come to the services here. We remember people in our families, we chant together, we share time together, all these things develops our own awareness and our own appreciation of what we gain here, right? So particularly when we come to the Shotsuki service, it's not just that I remember somebody, but it's that they are our guides. They are reminding us of the teachings. They are reminding us of this feeling of being connected, right? And this is what happens at our Shotsuki services, is for us to be able to recognize this, say, yeah, that's true, and then encourage others in our family to come. Come on, let's go again, and do this, and have this become a part of the family time that we pass on, elders to younger, and so on. Even if they don't like the Shi Shin Rai, maybe they'll come to like it, right? So, yeah. So, now I wanted to look back at the National Council meetings for this part. One of the things that came, you know, when it was such a big rush to get to the National Council meetings, the four of us went, and you know, you kind of have to drop things in, get ready, and it's this big hurry to get something done, and other things come up for the 110th anniversary. Different things come up one after another. Clothing drive, bazaar, we get ready for these things, and sometimes we come, you know, and the temple is a soothing place to be, meditative. We can be mindful, we can be present, and when we go home we feel better, And so this is the sense of our Shotsuki service. We leave feeling grounded, okay? But sometimes at the temple, it's like when the 4-man bobsled run at the Winter Olympics. We get our team and we push as hard as we can and we jump on, hoping we don't crash, hoping nobody falls off, hoping we don't get disqualified, and hopefully we finish what we started and jump up and we say, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right. Not always. Maybe, we get a medal, free manju for life. We get all these rewards for getting things done at the temple. Not always, but sometimes. So one of the things that I came back with from the National Council meetings, not a gold medal, but this book, okay? The title says Renyo Shonin's Letters. And there's a temple copy that's placed on the table. I think Jane or Howard, one of our reps, brought it back, received it there, and these were given to every temple and every minister from a donation to the Seattle Betsuin. And it's a very interesting story, the background to this book, okay? The project to do this started, and it went from 1948 to 1976, and not in this form, but they published it. They finished the Renyo Shonin's letters. So, some of you are familiar that we read the Gomonsho. The Gomonsho are the collection of letters. The one we read at our funerals, most familiar with, the white ashes, that's one of these letters, okay? So they published this way back then, this, 18-year project that they worked on at the Betsuin. So it's special because it's the first translation of Renyo Shonin's letters from Japanese to English, the very first one, okay? And then it's more special because it was done by a temple study group, okay? Members and their minister looking at the letters and translating the Japanese into English. Not by scholars or professors at some university, Ryukoku or Otani University, but at the Seattle Betsuin. So this is amazing. So wow, that's quite the story. So it would be like Howard and Tom finding a manuscript in the basement, right? Say, look at this. Wow. Hey, Lenny, let's work on this and publish it. Okay. And Lenny goes, yeah, we can make it a BEC project, right? You don't know. It could have happened like that. You could imagine that happening. So not, at some university, but just people at the temple. So let's work on this. And they were so meticulous to get this done. They translated the Japanese into English. And then they gave the English to these Japanese speaking people. Say, translate that back into Japanese and see if it would match the original. They said painstakingly taking the time to look back and forth, different people involved again and again to create this book. And so they worked on it again from what they had completed, and 50 years later, and then they made this version. So amazing story. So there's a original preface and then a secondary preface. So all these kind of outline the story and very incredible. Okay, so Renyo Shonin, if you don't recognize him in this picture, he's on the other side of Amida Buddha on our altar, and Joseph Gachi in Seattle, he also contributed some of the artwork at our art exhibit. So I had some chance to connect with him and talk to him, and so he was kind of the spokesperson for this group that got this together. And for him, he didn't know. Who didn't know? Who's that guy sitting there, right, on that side of the altar? And as he worked on this project and read these letters, it became more and more evident how much he earned this place on the altar, and Joseph got to understand and recognize why he's up here with Amida and Shinran Shonin. So he was able to get closer to what our altar is representing. So Renyo Shonin, he's the 8th descendant of Shinran Shonin, and he wrote all these letters and distributed them throughout the countryside to the common people, followers of the Nembutsu teachings of his time. Okay, so these were the simple people. These were our ancestors. Okay, farmers, merchants, fishermen. Okay, eking out working real hard to make their days, make their ends meet, working hard every single day. The letters were written very simple Japanese so that everyone could understand what the letters are saying. Just one page, short letters, one page, and he'd pass them out, different topics in the Shin Buddhist teachings, and this is what this means. This is what this means. So the two women who were talking in their kitchen, they could talk, read a letter. So this means this. I think this means this. They could share it with their children at dinner time. And so through this, so many people came to recognize Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, and it had a huge impact. Before, it wasn't so clear. So followers here and there, they had different understanding of what the teachings were saying. So the teachings were misunderstood. Sometimes the teachers are misdirecting the students, the followers. So this also happened. So these letters, all these letters had a huge impact and created this resurgence, revitalization of Jodo Shinshu teachings. So from the time of Shinran, things kind of went downhill till it might have not been in existence anymore. But because of Renyo Shonin, because of these letters that he passed out, people came to recognize what the Nembutsu was actually saying. So, wow, okay. So they joined, and like a grassroots movement, the Honganji thrived in membership, in numbers. All this happened. So then, 22 years after Renyo passed away, his grandson, Enyo, okay, he decided he's going to collect as many. There were 265 letters. He's going to try to collect as many as he could to see what Grandpa had written, right? And he went to local temples, smaller temples. Do you have these letters, any of the letters that from Renyo Shonin? And households, do you have some of these letters? And gradually he was able to pick up, gathered 265 letters. And from this, he picked 80 letters, and this would be the collection of the letters of Renyo. So it could have been maybe the grandson went to a Shotsuki service just like this. Renyo's name was read. He came up to Oshoko, right? We don't know. Maybe he's thinking of Grandpa. So I should learn more about Grandpa. They say he wrote all these letters. Maybe I can find them, right? Who knows how that went. So along with these 80 letters, there's another 5. 4 of them are called the letters of summer. And the 5th letter is kind of a biography of Shinran Shonin. Okay. So all these things he gathered and he collected, and this 80 letter collection plus the 5 extra letters, this is the Gobunsho. And it has inspired Shin Buddhists of that day, and it continues to be an important, very important resource for those who want to know what were the words that Shinran shared, Renyo shared, to explain the Nembutsu teachings. So this is another resource that students and ministers are able to look at. We have a copy here. You could look at it. It's interesting how that went, that these one-page letters sent throughout the countryside, people could pick them up and come to some grow their understanding, their awareness, their appreciation of the Nembutsu. So if fantastic story. And so you can take a peek at the book and maybe become a little bit more familiar, maybe little by little. But we can do more to have stories of Renyo Shonin, so we don't think of him as just the other guy on the other side, right? Yeah. Okay, so next story. We have our 110th anniversary, celebrating all through the year, and just yesterday, we were going to have our first event, right? The yoga, chair yoga. We had people signed up to come, and Japanese vegetarian meal to be served, and Mr. Bob Matsueda was going to lead this yoga workshop, and so everyone was looking forward to it. And just the day before, he had a emergency and had to cancel. So we spread the word and we had to cancel. Everyone, we're so sorry we had to cancel. But I told Charmin that we had to cancel the yoga thing. Bob had to have stints put in. He went to his regular checkup, and they kept him there so they could do a surgery. And right away, Charmin goes, how lucky we were, right? What Friday appointment, just a regular checkup. He had stints 20 years ago, but this Friday, the day before our event, he goes for a checkup, and they notice something's wrong. What if it was Monday instead of Friday, right? He would have been here. What if we had the emergency altogether, right? But he was in a hospital, the best place he could possibly be. They noticed right away that he needed the surgery immediately. He was so lucky. We were so lucky, right? Things happened just perfectly, right? You could see us scrambling for our defibrillator or something, right? Carrying him on my dako to the Alameda Hospital or something. Right? Who knows how that might have happened. Right? But we were so lucky. I think that's the best perspective we can have about Bob being at the hospital at the right time, at the right place. Okay. So next story. Okay. Again, about our 110th anniversary, the main service is set for Ohigan, fall Ohigan. So 6 months from now, in September, we're going to have a special service. Bishop Harada will be here, and he's going to join us, give a Dharma message, and officiate this kieshiki, where people will be able to receive, if they like, a Buddhist name. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this again because this will happen in 6 months, a kieshiki, but at the National Council meetings, the speaker was Reverend Sakamoto. So every time we have the National Council meetings, the ministers who most recently retired are able to give a Dharma message. So Sakamoto Sensei was there to give his Dharma message. He was a Rimban at San Jose Betsuin, and then retiring. And in his story, he talked about his Buddhist name. So I thought it would be appropriate to talk about, what happened there and what will happen in 6 months when we have this opportunity to receive this Buddhist name. Okay, so Sakamoto Sensei was talking about his background and coming into the ministry, and just this Friday they had an open house for the new IBS dormitory. So I went there, and a lot of the previous students went there to see how it looks now compared to how it was, in the 70s when we were there back then. And when I was a student there, that's when Sakamoto Sensei came, transferring from Hawaii to the Buddhist Churches of America. And just some guy coming in wearing, looked like some Sansei. I won't say but one of the things I remember, this is a better story. Okay, he was colorblind. So you're colorblind. So how can you tell what you wear? He So my friend helps me, and they color code all my clothing, so I know which colors go with which, and I put those on. So every once in a while, you could say, "What happened? Did the tag fall off?" Just to get under his skin a bit, right? So anyway, he was there, went through orientation, so he came to classes for a while, a couple months, and we were able to get to know him. So then he was, a couple years older than myself, but now at his retirement, he's talking about his Buddhist name, and he received it when he was in Hawaii, and the bishop of Hawaii was Imamura Sensei. Okay, the bishop there, Kanmo Imamura. Okay, Imamura Sensei's son was a minister here. Lots of people know Ryo Imamura. So Kanmyo is the bishop. His son was Kanryo. Okay, Kanryo. So Ryo's picture is on our wall over here, and so he was in charge. So he's giving Sakamoto Sensei his Dharma name when he went into the ministry. And so he received this Kango Sakamoto. So that's his Buddhist name, right? And so Sakamoto Sensei is talking about when he first received this Buddhist name, Kango. He thought, what kind of name is that, Kango? I wanted a cool name, not Congo, So he was disappointed when he got his Buddhist name, right? Congo sounds kind of strange. What does it even, I'm not sure what it means. And not until years and years later that I come to appreciate it more and more. Bishop Imamura, Kanmo Imamura, gave me his name. He included me as part of his family. Right? And if you learn about the Imamura family, they've had a huge impact upon how Chodo Shinchi Buddhism has moved from Japan to Hawaii and America, and it grew that he came to really appreciate his Buddhist name, maybe even more after he said that to everyone in Seattle. So, to me, when you have a Buddhist name, it's not like getting the Olympic gold medal. It's not another diploma that you hang on the wall, or a certificate or a title that you place that this is mine. Okay? The homyo is not a description to me. Sometimes it's people say, "Oh, she was a teacher, so we'll use the kanji for teacher," or "She was so inspirational, we'll use this kind of kanji," and sometimes they fit. But to me, the Buddhist name is a description of Amida, not you, not me, Amida. And so when I read my Buddhist name, my thoughts turn away from me to Amida, to a greater connection that I have with everything in the infinite universe. Okay? Not me, and changing that. And this is our Buddhist path, to move from self-centeredness to other-centeredness. Okay? And this is what happens with the Buddhist name. So it's not just, let's pick this kanji and that kanji, or maybe change it to this or what, and request this. It's not you, and it's about what we receive. Okay? It's not a description of me. It's not a title of me. But you should be reminded every time, how did I receive it? When did I receive it? What does it mean? It means Amida. Amida is reminding me to not be so selfish, so self-centered. Step beyond your own little egocentric shell and to connect to this infinite. And if that's what the Buddhist name is, then it becomes special, right? Yeah. So we always say, usually we say Buddhist name, but Ho is Dharma, right? We chanted Shi Shin Rai, Fu Ho, so Ho is Dharma, so it's Dharma name. Dharma name is a proper translation for homyo. Okay. So I think that's good good for us to consider when we do get the Buddha's name. It's something that we humbly receive, right? No, this is me. No, your head should bow every time you read it or hear it or see it. Yeah. Okay. So as our own awareness grows, we must turn our attention away from ourselves and towards Amida. This is the path that the Nembutsu puts us on. Those of you come very often. Some of you don't come so often. This is the essence of our teaching. This is what we do at our services. Turn away from ourselves and towards this infinite. So Homyo guides us in our turning, guides our growth, our awareness towards the infinite reality that is Amida. Okay? And this is our spiritual path, guided by Renyo, guided by Shinran, and all the good teachers along the way, that we are able to become more. Okay? Please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Buts. Namu Amida Buts. Namu Amida Buts. Namu Amida Buts. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message. Please stand for the Gatha, May Peace Prevail, on page 89 and 90 of the White Book. Please be seated. Thank you for those who helped with the altar preparations and with the service. Reverend Dennis, YouTube, Brian, altar flowers, Jane, or an organist, Lenny, and to all those who brought refreshments for today's service. Are there any newcomers or visitors today? If so, could you stand and introduce yourselves? I guess not. Announcements. The ABWA meeting today after refreshments around 11:30. Next Sunday, March 8th, is a Trans-Bay Minister Exchange with Birthday Sunday. Reverend Melissa Opel, Buddhist Church of San Francisco, will be the guest speaker. Reverend Fujimoto will be in the Palo Alto. Sunday, March 15th is family service. Sunday, March 22nd is spring Ohigan service and Ask Reverend Dennis. Sunday, March 29th is no service. It's the fifth Sunday. Are there any other announcements? Jane?
I just want to say for Bob, I have a get well card. I'm going to leave it in the social hall so that everybody can sign it. Thank you.
Thank you for attending this morning's service. Please come up to offer incense and join us for refreshments in the social hall.
Thank you.